Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pretend Problems podcast. I'm Kelsey Cook.
And I'm Patton Oswalt.
Wow. Is this because we were talking about my Florida shows?
Sure is.
I think maybe we had like 4 of our podcast listeners come out to the shows in Dania Beach this past weekend. And so I feel like I can speak fairly freely without hurting too many people's feelings. But
Sure.
I don't draw well in Dania Beach, Florida. And so that sometimes means then that they have to like give out free tickets to fill up more of the room. And whoever they filled it with was...
Well, I'll tell you, they're Floridians. Now, I hate to interrupt you, but I'll take it from here because you don't like to be mean. But there are, Florida is like, it's nice. And there are some great people there. But it's as if they specifically got rid of the education department a while ago.
Yeah, the people who came up through the merch line who said that you were podcast fans, you guys seemed so nice and so great and so normal. But I mean, you must know if you live there that your state is the butt of a lot of jokes. And
Patton Oswalt has a great one.
Great one. If you're looking for a good laugh, just YouTube Patton Oswalt Florida joke. I don't think it could be done better. I think it's like the perfect Florida joke.
Let me know what you think of the first part of it, because I was a little like, oh, you're calling other comedians hack just so you can flip it a little bit.
Yeah.
Interesting strategy, because you kind of just said a little bit of the same thing.
Right.
So,
but God, it gets so good.
The Florida state flag within the bit is like laugh out loud funny.
It's so good. Yeah. Were they my favorite shows that I've ever done this past weekend? Gonna say no. But you know what?
Yeah.
Now it's Thanksgiving week and
That's
I'm so excited.
And I hate to do this to you, but a lot of listeners came out to Sacramento.
Yeah.
Fucking great.
Yay.
Great shows. The late shows, a little weirder than the early shows.
Mm-hmm.
Cobb, San Francisco, same thing. So much fun this week.
Yeah.
And, when you open with political and Catholic material in a place that's Spanish for the sacrament, not going to go great. But we figured it out.
And if you are not watching on YouTube, maybe you should, because Chad looks hot as fuck today.
Oh. Justin, edit that. But then send it to me.
He looks so good.
Edit that out and then send it. So do you. Let's not do this.
I just,
That's very nice of you. But
yeah, you look great.
That's great.
So I'm trying to start the podcast on like an extra, like a little bit higher of a note, because I know we're going to talk about a fight we just had.
You look so great. Now, what about the football game?
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. That was genuinely from the heart that I wanted to say all that.
That's very nice of you.
But yeah, let's get into what happened yesterday.
We had a situation.
We did have a situation.
Code orange, I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
Yellowish orange.
Yellowish orange.
So here is the deal. I love betting on football, but I bet a little differently than some people, right? Some people will bet, hey, I think this team will beat this team, and that's the bet I'm going to make. Mm-hmm. But I spend a little bit of time with some coffee in the morning, early on in the week, reading injury reports.
Wow.
And reading a bunch of things about the teams, stats on natural grass versus just a bunch of really dumb dude shit.
Mm-hmm.
And
I didn't know this, by the way. You haven't told me this.
Yep. And then I do 7 or 8 game parlays, which means you bet 7 or 8 bets, but they're all linked together. So if you win one, doesn't matter. You have to win all of them to get your bet. The cool thing is, if you bet, let's say $50 on this bet, you can win like $4,000 or $5,000.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a fun bet to go, oh shit. And then when you get to the last thing on it, it does become intense.
Yeah.
It does become intense.
It does become intense. More intense even than Chad's already high intensity level of just watching sports.
I wake up at an 8.
In particular sports with players and coaches that he doesn't really love. And
yeah, I wake up at an 8. And if you saw the sets in Sacramento, you know, it's a bit in progress, but we're working on it. So, so I had everything I needed covered. The first 5 bets I won. Mm-hmm. The 6th and 7th bet were involved with the Vikings-Bears game.
Okay.
Then I had the over for one of the bets. I hit the over. Everything's great. All I need is for the Vikings to win by 3.5 points. Let's call it 4. They are up by 11 with 1 minute and 33 seconds left in the game. Mm-hmm. And Kelsey, for the 3rd time in 1 calendar month, says, looks good. And I go, well, fuck. Because everybody who bets on sports knows, I'm trying to word this nicely. You stay quiet until the clock's at zeros.
It's always fun when you go, well, how can I say this nicely? And then it's fun for me to fill in the blank of the mean way that you initially were going to say.
It's definitely you keep your dirty fucking mouth shut.
I knew it.
It definitely is that. So you just don't say anything, right? And I told you about this. There's like, I know you think it's very jinxy of me and very like, wow, I can't believe you specifically, who is normally based in logic and fact, would fall into this. But
very crystally, very energy-ish, very
it is.
Feng shui. Yes.
It is, but you just don't. It's, you know, it's not like somebody came up with you don't count your chickens before they're hatched just on a whim.
Right.
It's like legit. You just don't say anything till it's at zeros.
How many times has fuck. Damn it. I wanted to get this right and I couldn't. I was going to say, how many times has your mom's back broken?
Oh, like when I stepped on a crack?
Yeah.
Never, because I don't step on cracks. What are you, a psychopath?
Oh my God, whatever. See,
I hopscotch my way through fucking life.
This is what I'm talking about, though, is like, if you step on a crack, you break your mother's back. It's like, there's all these things where it's like, sometimes you can't live like that. You got to
That's so different. Oh my God, that's different. Okay. That is like the most different thing in the world. Because I told you, you have goalies that have shutouts in hockey. Nobody says a fucking word to them, right?
Right.
You have pitchers that have a no-no or a perfect game going. You will see them in the dugout, and the whole rest of the team is like back against the back wall because they're so scared to get near them.
Wow. Okay.
And they have in Las Vegas, and this is the one that I said, like, you have an entire city that is based on making money within gambling.
Right.
The casinos will hire what they call coolers.
Yeah.
To go to a table to fuck around and say some shit to change the energy, because, you know, and I said this to you, and this is going to sound mean and like maybe misogynistic. It's not meant to, but I can't tell you the amount of times a wife has shown up at a craps table and been like, honey, what's the number you're not supposed to get? And you can fucking, it's like hungry hippo. Everyone's grabbing their chips because you're like, bitch, what are you doing? Why don't you just come in here singing the number 7, you fucking dip? So there is like that jinxy stuff related to gambling. Right. I mean, you look at baseball teams. You have the curse of Babe Ruth.
Curse of the Bambino.
Yeah. So,
yep.
So anyways, so we had talked about this. I had the same, so I'm closing in. There's 3 times where I was closing in on winning over $3,000. And the bet was, I was winning the bet at the time.
Okay.
And you go, well, the equivalent of, it's done. Great job. And then all hell breaks loose. You can see the sky above the stadium open up and lightning start. And then anyways, so 3 times you have done it, and I have lost every bet after having won the bet. While as you said it, I was winning the bet.
Intense. Yeah. And just like to say this right here, it's all coming from just a place of like joy and
positivity.
Love
Yes.
and positivity of like, wow, like looks like they're going to win it. Looks like you're going to win it. Because, and I told you yesterday, I'm not new to football, but I haven't watched it as intensely as I have the last couple of years with you.
Right.
Like I didn't understand a lot of the rules before. So I even still have been kind of confused at times where it's the end of the fourth quarter. There's still like a minute or so left on the clock and they'll just spike it or take a knee, whatever take a knee. And the clock just runs out. So I'm like, oh, okay. I guess they're just like agreeing that the game is over. So sometimes when I see that our team is up by 11 and there's a minute and a half left, I'm like, well, I just don't understand football well enough yet, where to me, I'm like, that seems like an insurmountable distance to get to that amount of points in a minute and a half.
Right. And now let me ask you, is it?
No.
Correct. It is not insurmountable because 11 points is a 2-possession game. And a minute 33 is enough time because the Vikings didn't have the ball.
Yeah.
If the Vikings had the ball, they would kneel down.
Yeah.
But if the Bears kneeled down, they would be assassinated.
Yeah.
Because there's still enough time to tie the game, which they did. And, again, I said I was Kevin O'Connell, most boring fucking coach in the NFL last week, and I stand by it. You're in overtime, and you're going to kick a field goal on second down, you fucking bitch. No. Like, have some fun. Bring some entertainment to your city. No one wants to win on a second down field goal. Try to score a touchdown. You puss? All right. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So for me, I will tell you, it's not like I lost a bunch of money. And did I have a chance to win a bunch of money? Yeah. And that's also really not what it's about. For me, I love being able to pick 7 or 8 things correctly by like looking at the research and stuff. That is very fun. It's like, I feel like I beat the system.
It's like an illusion of control.
No. I feel like I beat the system, an illusion of control. Oh God.
It's this.
Here we go again. Round 2.
I think that is like a very powerful endorphin inducing feeling to go, nobody in the world can say for sure what's going to happen in these games, but I'm going to do so much research that I'm going to decide what the highest probability is. And if I win these bets, it makes me feel like I can control the future.
No, it doesn't really make me feel like that. I mean,
that's like, what betting is.
No, but that's also like you not wanting a picture in a certain hallway so your shows go well.
Oh, it's for sure an illusion of control.
Yeah, it's almost more of one because you're not doing any research. Some lady was on a Netflix documentary and said, well, the hallway to your bedroom is for fucking virility. So no wonder you can't have babies. You have a picture of...
That's a direct quote.
Jesus Christ, who didn't have any kids, right there. I mean, that's why. Oh my God. Well, that's what it feels like to me.
Yeah. Sure.
But we figured it out. We talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about it. I came up with a few options.
Mm-hmm.
We could continue as we are, where you say whatever you want, whenever you want during the game, and I get mad at you. We can keep doing that.
Great.
Well, I mean, so it's really interesting because you never say that stuff just normally. You only say it when you know I have a bet.
Because I'm excited for you.
I know you are.
You like kind of yesterday thought I was like out of malice or something. I'm like, what do you...
Not out of malice, but
am?
It is like, I don't know, the third time you do something.
At
that point, it feels like, what the fuck? We've talked about it twice.
I know. Sorry. I just hadn't like...
That's like last week. Is there another way I need to ask you this?
I know. I know. Sorry.
Well, you don't have to apologize. I'm just like, it's your house too. You can say whatever you want, but then I can react however I want. It's like one of those things. But you go, how are we going to, in this situation, get along the best?
Right.
And we came up with me just not gambling when we watch football together. So once again, I've taken the hit and I'm suffering because
Oh
of it.
my
But anyways,
God.
what's the middle segment? Do I have dates or a middle segment or?
Oh my God.
Oh no! If you're just listening, I just got a look that I recognize from No Humpville. So anyway, it was glad I put this sweater on. I knew she'd want to do it if I put this on, and then I messed it up. But anyways, that's okay.
Glad you got your hand around the mic, just getting ready for that position for yourself.
Yep. Yeah, but we figured it out. Or if there is, we talked about, if there is a bet that I think's an absolute winner, then I will just go down to the gym and walk on the treadmill for the last quarter of the game.
Well, God knows after yesterday, I will never, ever say a word again.
Well, now it probably sounds like I hit you or something. Well, what? Please finish your sentence.
Yeah. No.
Oh my God.
I said my thing of like, oh, it looks good. Looks like you're going to win. And I could feel your energy shift because like then the Bears scored and it was just like, oh no. And then they tied it to go into overtime. We still won, by the way. Chad didn't win his bet, but the Vikings still won.
And no one gives a fuck about the Vikings winning because they're the most boring team in football.
That's not true. I care.
I know, that is true.
I'm invested
I know,
now.
I'm just teasing you.
But
would be nice if they covered once in a while.
Would be nice if what?
If they covered once in a while.
Okay. So it's tied going into overtime, which likely means that there's no way Chad's going to win the bet because a team's probably just going to kick a field goal. More likely than
on second down,
running
on second down
touchdown.
From the 9 fucking yard line. After it was first down and the quarterback just took 2 steps to the left to kneel down so they'd have a better angle.
Yeah. Anyway.
God forbid. Score 6 points.
Anyway. Goes into overtime.
Fucking boring.
And Chad stands up and goes, God, $4,000. And he walks out of the room. Which we had been having such a lovely morning up until then. We were both exhausted. We were both going on like 2-3 hours of sleep. Had to take the earliest flights home out of Florida
to watch the game.
To watch the game.
Could have watched in Sacramento.
We were just having like the best, most cuddly, loving morning, having a great time watching the game together, eating amazing pizza. We were going to have sex after the game.
After our nap.
We were going to take a nap. We had this whole day of like, this is going to be an amazing day. And when they went into overtime and Chad didn't get his bet, he said, $4,000. It was just such a giant shift in the energy of like,
sure it was.
Oh, okay. Now he's mad. Now he's like walking downstairs to cool off. Now I'm just sitting there on the couch like, great. How did this happen? Like, how did we get here? Because now we're going to have to talk about it and try to get back to neutral. And so that's what I mean where I say, I mean, like, it's really in there now of like, I mean, yesterday ended up sucking for a lot of the day because of that. Because then, like, I went and took a nap. We didn't talk for a while.
Sucking because of what?
Because of how that went down.
Like I got up and left and went downstairs?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the version her friends are going to get, which is ridiculous. Because they're not getting the full story.
I don't tell my friends about stuff like that.
I'm telling my friends because we all gamble.
They don't care about. That's not a story-worthy thing to talk about.
So
you did go. Any man who's involved in sports would tell you that you just don't say anything when the game's still on the line. You just don't jinx it. Like you were trying to be like, this is not a me being uptight thing. This is like
right.
A lot of people who bet on sports know you just don't say stuff.
Okay. I would like the listeners to know the first 2 times I was the hand of Jinx reached into my wallet and grabbed over $3,000 both times.
You didn't lose that much.
I did not lose that much, but the bet was secured at that point. Mm-hmm. And the first 2 times, I did not leave the room. I said, hey, just so you know, not crazy about that, right? The first 2 times. Mm-hmm. So the version of this story my friends will get is, yeah, we're sitting there and the Bears have the ball, 1:33 left. And then for the 3rd time in a row, she goes cooler on my ass. And they'd be like, oh, fuck, dude, I'm so sorry. That's when you get hugs from guys. That's when your guy friends hug you. They're like, I can't believe it, man. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
3 times in a row.
What a hard life you have.
I have a great life. I know that. And again, losing $50, I'm very lucky. Losing $50 is not really going to affect me.
Yeah.
So I also know, I take that away from it.
Yeah.
Knowing like, it's a pretty good deal.
Yep.
You know, I see a lot of people throughout the day that if someone just took $50 from them, it would mean something. Mm-hmm. So I'm very thankful in knowing that.
Yeah.
But also I hope there's not a 4th time.
There will not be a 4th time. I wish we could do an experiment where the game yesterday and the 2 other times, if I had not said anything, just would be so curious to know if it would have been the exact same outcome.
Well, there's only one way we could have done that experiment, and that would have been you not saying anything, which you chose not to do.
But haven't you lost other bets where I've been sitting next to you and I haven't said anything, and you've been up and then something happens because that's just like what happens sometimes?
No, by the way, I know this is insane. Or not insane. It's not insane. It is... Sports jinxes, there just is, I mean, people believe in them.
Yeah.
Right? And it is probably because the negative gets more clout than if it just would go through. Mm-hmm. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like you're right.
I'm not giving you any look. I'm listening to you.
So I'm just saying, I don't think there is a way to know. I do think you believe in energy in certain ways.
Yeah.
And I do think, I don't know. I can just tell you, And I bet there have been times where someone has said, hey, looks like the bet's a lock. And then it does go through, you know?
For sure. Almost like that is like the thing that I think people talk about a lot as well, is the idea of positive energy and positive affirmations, and just
not in Minnesota Vikings football.
Speaking it into existence of like, oh my God.
No.
I can't believe we won. That's so amazing. Like where you're just saying it as if it's already happened. That is a huge thing too.
I'm going to tell you something. Minute 33 on the clock yesterday. Bears have the ball on, I'm going to say the 50-yard line. It was about the 50-yard line. Mm-hmm. And there wasn't one other person in the state of Minnesota going, I bet they got it. Everyone was like, God damn it, this is too much time. Fucking can't believe it. They're going to play this bitch prevent defense. Only thing prevent defense does is prevent you from winning. That's what was happening throughout the state of Minnesota. I promise you. I do promise you that.
All right. I hear you. I'm not going to do any more jinxes. Even though they're not, in my mind, I'm not trying to jinx it. I'm trying to be positive.
Well, by the way, I know you weren't trying to jinx it.
Yeah.
I know you don't have that. You don't have that like mean streak in you, I don't think.
Yeah. Would never think to do that. But I will say it's like there have to have been other times that we've been watching football and you've been like, all your bets are set. I mean, I see it happen all the time. You're like, fuck, if they would have just kicked that, would have won the parlay. I had 6 other games go right, and I don't say anything.
You probably thought it.
All right, guys. See you next week.
Hey, I'm going to be in Salt Lake City December 3rd and 4th, I think. Nope. No. December 6th and 7th. Yeah. And then I'm going to be in Las Vegas on the 13th and the 12th and 13th. I don't know. I'm going to be in those two in December. And then the rest of my dates are chaddaniels.com.
Yes. I am going to be in Austin December 6th and 7th and San Antonio December 12th through the 14th. So Texas, we've got Texas listeners. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be in Dallas and Houston as well in March. But all my tour dates, because the whole first half of next year is up, is at kelseycook.com.
If you can't find them, go to her Instagram, look at her stories, and I promise you within the next couple of weeks, you're going to see a ticket link with the Beyonce song as the music.
Did you know I was about to post that today?
No, but of course you are.
Oh my God.
Hold on.
Oh my God, that's so funny. That makes me feel like such a basic bitch that you already knew I was gonna do. I was so close to doing that today, and I just like couldn't think of a picture. I have to think of some sort of creative Texas promo.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, well, should we do our middle segment?
Let's try it.
Okay. So it's Thanksgiving tomorrow as you guys listen to this, or as this episode comes out, and we thought that we would decide what our favorite Thanksgiving dishes and what our least favorite dishes.
Okay.
So you go first.
My favorite Thanksgiving dish would just be the turkey that my grandpa used to make.
Wow.
I will tell you, it's not the actual turkey.
Okay.
It was watching him because he would use that, the injector and put fake smoke in the turkey.
Oh.
So anyways, when I am diagnosed with cancer, that's why. But it was just watching him prep. He was so happy about it, and he took the time. And then he'd break a little piece of dark meat off, and he would just like look up on the deck. He'd be like, "Yeah." So I think it's more the memory.
Oh, that's nice.
Post stinks, and my least favorite is this thing 7-layer salad.
Okay.
It has cheese, broccoli, maybe mayo, sour cream. It's a bunch of shit.
Is it cold, hot?
It's cold. It's layered on top of each other. All that stuff is. And I've never had it.
Okay.
But the reason it's my least favorite is because what that did to the inside of my mother's body is like scientific. It would confuse top experts.
No.
So we would have to drive an hour back from my grandparents to Fergus Falls, and my sister and I had the choice. We could roll our windows down and just be frozen out because we're going 60 miles per hour at the end of November in northern Minnesota.
Oh God.
Or maybe have our faces melted off. It was so atrocious.
What's up with your mom and raw broccoli? Because if you have been listening to the show from the beginning, last year your mom brought raw broccoli as like just part of a veggie tray for Christmas, and she opened it right at the buzzer. It was just like right as people were about to come in, and we were like, "Oh my God!"
People were like, "I didn't want to say anything, but did a pipe break? Because this is." Something's happening here that candles aren't fixing.
I was just going to say it smelled like somebody lit a fart candle. Like it was such a potent smell. It was so bad. So yeah, I mean, raw broccoli, I think on the best of digestive systems, it's one of the hardest things to digest. Yeah.
I remember, I was listening in on my sister. She's young and having a conversation with one of her friends, and one of her friends didn't know about divorce because she'd never been through it. And she's like, "So why do people get divorced? Why did your mom and dad get divorced?" And my sister earnestly said 7-layer salad. Because no one can get,
Well, I'm really glad that we've made it through our fart spells, because before I took those pills that helped fix my stomach, there was some hard times.
Well, there were some interesting flavors, but never even came close to 7-layer salad. That's the one thing is my mom has gotten me ready for the you won't get there. I'm going to tell you that.
Oh my God. Yeah. I can't believe it. Some of the ones that I did before I got my stomach problems fixed. Imagine if I had 7-layer salad back then. Maybe that's what would have happened.
I'm not sure, but my mom having 7-layer salad could have caused COVID. Where it burns out your taste buds and your smelling. And people are like, I can't taste or smell. It's like, well.
Oh, heavens.
Yeah.
Oh, Karen. Wow. Yeah, I've never even heard of this salad. So.
And here's what's so I mean, so many great things about my mom, but here's one of them. She would be driving, and then you just see her shoulders start shaking, and you're like, "What's going on?" And then you'd see her trying to hold in a laugh, and you knew you had about 3 seconds before it hit. It was like thunder to lightning, where you would count. Or lightning to thunder, I guess it would be. You'd count. You'd go 1, 2.
Oh my God! Just a silent but deadly.
Yeah.
Just a hot.
Oh, I
fart.
promise you.
Oh,
I
melted
promise.
a seatbelt.
Yeah, you like look down on her seat and you're like, oh, a cigarette ash must have burned a hole in it, and it wasn't. It was just infiltrated by 7-layer salad.
Oh, yuck. I'm gonna have to look up the recipe for that just out of curiosity, because I'm like, what else is in this thing? But okay, I'm gonna say my favorite dish at Thanksgiving are cranberries. I love a cranberry sauce with some like orange zest in there.
Okay.
God, I think it's so good, and I think it's special because you don't really have it at any other time, right? Like mashed potatoes you might have at Christmas, but cranberries are like an exclusively Thanksgiving thing. So I really like cranberries.
Zombie.
I'm not gonna do the high part. Too nervous. And then I don't love stuffing. I'll like always put some on my plate if it's there, but it's like we already are having the roll, which I think is the superior form of bread. It just always is kind of like salty and weird.
Sure.
But I'm sure that there are people listening right now. They're like, well, you just haven't had my grandma's stuffing or whatever. But yeah, I don't know.
That's what people always say. I don't have a song when I go on stage, and every single sound guy at clubs will be like, well, that's because you haven't let me pick one. It's like, dude, I'm telling you, every genre, everything you could imagine, I've tried. I'm not cool enough to walk up to music. It doesn't work for me.
You don't walk up to music?
I never have music. Never. Not
you
even
should do my walk up music.
No, here we go. This is what I'm saying.
You would be so good walking up to Black Keys Gold on the Ceiling.
I'm telling you, I didn't have it the whole fully loaded tour.
Yeah.
And then the one time I had it was because I rode that fake horse out on stage.
That was amazing.
That was the only time I had it because of that. So and that's what I feel like with stuffing. Everyone's like, no, it's just because you haven't had. It's like, stuffing is stuffing. Dude, are you putting licorice in it? Then shut the heck up.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about stuffing, but can I ask what your favorite Thanksgiving dessert is?
Well, I'm going to throw this out there. I'm going to give you another favorite. I've never had it on Thanksgiving. I've only had it during a Christmas celebration. But your grandma's applesauce is righteous.
Oh my God, she'd be so flattered to hear you say that.
I don't like applesauce normally.
Yeah.
And so I was like, fine, I'll fucking take some, because you kept bragging it up. And I'm like, I'm going to take some. If I don't eat it all, please don't mention it. Like, because I don't like it.
Yeah.
And I was licking the bowl.
Yeah. Homemade applesauce is such a strange thing. I think most people would never even think to make applesauce from scratch, but my grandma does. And God, she puts cinnamon in it, and she uses just this like specific kind of apple that makes it so like sweet and tart.
I have no idea, but it was amazing.
It's amazing. Homemade applesauce. I mean, if you've never had it, you should really try it. Yeah, that's a great call. Is that your favorite dessert?
I mean, my favorite desserts don't involve a Thanksgiving or anything like that.
No, but like your pie, like a favorite pie.
I mean, okay. If someone I don't like pumpkin pie and I don't like apple pie. Oh. But if someone brings a French silk pie,
sure,
I will have it.
What about a pecan pie? You fuck with a pecan pie?
Yeah, I'll have a couple bites. I mean, I'm just not
a big pie guy.
It. I'm not a huge pie guy unless it involves, chocolate.
Yeah. Toll House pie.
Yeah, I love Toll House pie.
Mm-hmm. All right, amazing. Yeah, I feel like my favorite dessert is Toll House pie or pecan pie. But I really like all the pies. So, okay, guys, we are going to do some questions. and then get out of here.
We're
We're also going to put our Patreon bracelets in the mail this week for those of you that have been at our $20 tier for at least 3 months. If you want bonus episodes, anything like that, it's patreon.com/pretendproblems. There are still, I think, like 5 of you who have not sent me your mailing address. So if you are part of the $20 tier on Patreon and you want your Pretend Problems bracelet, you have to send your mailing address to me, please. And then if you want to write in and get advice from us, or you have like, we were saying today with this sports betting situation and like jinxes and stuff, we'd love if you guys wrote in if you have your own versions of stories like this, whether it's in your relationship or just growing up or whatever. I think it'd be interesting to hear other people's perspective on this whole jinx situation.
And go ahead and give it to me. I know it might seem silly to some people, but I mean, you're talking to a guy that used to jump over the first baseline to run out into the outfield to make sure I didn't knock the chalk around.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's like
you've been superstitious for a long time.
Just about sports, because it's part of sport culture.
Yeah.
Right. It's like you see people doing it. They have to do this certain thing. It's like ADHD or OCD probably wasn't diagnosed early on, and they were all good at baseball for some reason or something, and caused all these traditions. But
well, yeah, please write in. We'd love to hear what you think. Okay, this first one is titled "I'm Quiet Too." They say, "Hey, Chad and Kelsey, my name is Andrew. I've been a longtime lover of Chad's comedy, and I even got a fist bump from him when he was in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Thank you, Andrew.
I love the podcast, and due to me having to go in order, letters, I am working through the podcast episodes. I just listened to episode A Silent Lover. I have the same pretend problem as the guy who doesn't make any noise while bumping uglies. I've been with my wife going on 15 years, married for 2 years. We have 2 kids, boy 4 and girl 3. Our sessions are typically pretty quiet, except for sorry in advance.
Man, nothing really makes you do that. That's great.
It's just crap.
Except me in a store yelling at someone.
Yeah. Except for the faint sound of my ball bag hitting those sweet thighs. God. Sorry for the mental image, but that's beside the point.
Mom, Dad, I think there's a branch that keeps hitting your window at night. I can't sleep.
God. Oh, okay. Since the arrival of the fuck trophies. Oh my God. I've never heard children referred to as fuck trophies. That's hilarious and also a little concerning. We don't partake in drugs and alcohol as much, but on this night, the mother-in-law had them. Wow. What a mother-in-law you have. She sounds like a boss. We had taken edibles and a few drinks.
Oh, I think she had the kids, not the drugs and the alcohol.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. That the phrasing of that sounded like your mother-in-law gave you drugs and alcohol.
We don't normally do drugs and alcohol, but my wife's mom has a whole fucking cupboard full. So.
I mean, that is what that sounded
No, I
like. know. We had taken edibles and a few drinks, so we were definitely feeling something. My wife, Borat voice, and I were getting after it in our regular mime fashion, and I was really feeling it. I let out this oof, not even exactly sure what noise it was. My wife is very ADHD, and she locked into this weird new noise, looked at me and said, "Did you just woof?" Instantly killing the mood. We laughed our asses off for a good while. Now, if I ever do anything that is in any way a turn on to her, she says woof under her breath. Excuse me. Oh my goodness.
Buzz's girlfriend.
Woof. Can't have those little tape recorders repeating that mommy and daddy say woof to each other. Thanks for all that you do. I love the podcast. Feel free to use the name. Not sure if this will get read, but I had to reach out since I could relate to this pretend problem. Oh my God.
I love it.
Andrew, we had to read that.
Yeah, thank you.
It's so funny. You guys, you write in very funny things. Okay, this is titled Sacramento, November 23rd Late Show.
Oh, this is fresh. This is fresh.
Fresh. Hi, Chad and Kelsey. I went to see Chad in Sacramento yesterday, and I was sitting in the front row. I had such a great time, and Chad was so funny, but I was in so much pain. I have TMJ and it has been acting up a lot lately. My jaw was hurting so much that even when I smiled, I was worried that I would get lockjaw. I fear I may have looked pissed, but that is furthest from the truth. I just wanted to let Chad know because I know that he could see my face. Thanks for coming to SAC, and I really hope the next time you come, my jaw isn't being such a dick bag. Thanks a lot, Olivia. Yes, you can say my name, Kelsey.
Olivia, a couple questions. Did you get TMJ from a dick bag? And also, I don't know. I don't remember anyone looking too mad at me. I mean, I remember some non-reactions pretty specifically when I was doing some of my new stuff. Pretty excited about it. I don't know. Well, it's so I love when there's someone laughing at a table and then not laughing at the same table.
Yeah.
That really, really gets me going.
Yeah.
And so some people were leaving the show not making eye contact with me and staying so far away from me. And other people were like, this is my favorite hour we've ever seen from you. And so it's like that juxtaposition is fantastic. And that's when I go, could be it.
Yeah.
So I get excited.
I can't wait to see it. Okay. This is titled Lovers to Roommates in 6 Years. Hi, Calcium Chad. Pardon the name at the top. I misheard Kelsey read Hi, Kelsey and Chad as Hi, Calcium Chad. And now I just associate Chad with excellent bone density and tooth strength. Oh, fuck. I know we never end up actually making merch for this podcast, which is a shame because we've had some funny things over the years. Do your burst. But man, do we need a High Calcium Chad shirt or something.
Yeah. How long have we been doing this podcast?
Almost a year.
Oh, I thought you said over the years. I was like, Jesus. How long?
No.
Okay, good. Calcium, High Calcium Chad.
Yeah. Did I say over the years? I didn't mean to.
I have no idea. I could be hearing things.
Okay. I've been in a relationship with my girlfriend for 6 years as of November. Our relationship has recently fallen apart under my nose, and I am having trouble seeing how this relationship can be mended. We got together while she was still going through a divorce, and I had been single for a few years. Looking back, it seems like we needed each other. We each needed someone at that time in our lives. She's helped me improve my health in various ways over the years, as well as helped me realize my potential as a person, and I am forever grateful for that. She has 2 children whom I love, but are now both out of the house as of August of this year. I am 38 and she is 39 and have no kids together for context. Her father passed away last year, and with her son going away to college, she's not feeling very needed and struggling to find out what her life is now. She's been a head cheer coach for 2 years now, while also working full time. We also work together. This pretty much leaves me to be at home with the dogs most of the time. I've always been an introvert who enjoys my time at home, and she is now finding issue with this after 6 years. She's at a point where she wants to go out and hang out, but really doesn't have the friends to do that as regularly as she would like. I'm willing to go out and do things, but she doesn't want me to because she thinks that I don't want to. I must admit it was a rough adjustment when she started coaching, as she was never home, but I've been forced to get used to it, and it isn't so bad. I'm able to take care of laundry, dishes, home maintenance, and the dogs while finding time for my fitness and hobbies at home. She recently used the term roommate to describe us, and I've never gotten it out of my head. I did not see us like that, but now I do. She has been sleeping on the couch for a couple months now. Our sex life diminished more when we got the dogs, as they sleep with us in the bed, but I don't think that was the only reason. An issue I have always had was that she doesn't initiate anything intimate, but I just assume everyone is different and never judged her for this. Am I a person who needs some level of reassurance in life? Oh, I'm a person who needs some level of reassurance in life, and I realize I am not really getting that. We have been living in a large house for 4 years. I don't want to throw away our years together so quickly, but it seems like I have been slowly and unknowingly conditioning myself for this. I am not worried about the monetary aspect of living with just myself and the dogs, but we do have a system of care for the dogs where she has them out and feeds them in the morning as she goes to work 2.5 hours after I do. I do worry about how she would afford to live by herself while also paying for her son's college housing. I also have a fear that she may be looking for another relationship while still living at home. I'm not comfortable with this idea, as this has happened to me in the past. Is this worth working on if both parties agree to put in more effort? Sorry so long, but wanted to make sure you had a lot of details. Thanks in advance for any advice you can give. I love the podcast and feel like it came to my life at the perfect time. Keep up the good work, you two. Cheers to living the high calcium life. Feel free to use my moniker in the signature. Best regards, Dr. Midnight. Whoa.
Damn.
Interesting. Okay. Well, first of all, I'm sorry you're going through this. I have some thoughts initially about like you saying that your sex life diminished more when the dog started to sleep with you. And I know you're saying that isn't the only reason, but God, I don't, and there could be listeners right now who completely disagree with me. And if you found a way for that to work in your relationship and like not affect your sex life, that's great. I don't think having pets in bed, oh, sorry, my cousin. I don't think having pets in your bed sleeping with you will positively affect your sex life.
Unless you're super kinky.
Ew.
You looked at me like you wanted me to say something, so I said that.
I just, like, if you think in terms of the state of the sheets and the bed, it's like now you've got pet hair on them. Now they probably smell like your pets. I just think a bed with pets in it becomes a different thing. And I'm saying this as somebody who I used to have my cat sleep with me. Chad used to have Poe sleep with him. Mm-hmm. And then when we moved in together, we tried to have all of the pets sleep with us, and it was an absolute disaster. So we decided, hey, okay, no pets at all in the bed. And I'm so glad that that's the choice we made, because I just think, A, we sleep better, but we've never like I'm a very, I don't know. I just think that would like feel kind of gross to me if our bed was like kind of pet nasty. And so, if there is an option for you to not have the dog sleep in your bed, I think that would be a good step in the right direction. And if she has not really initiated, I think that is, I don't know if you've had a conversation about that, but if I were you and that was something that you wanted in the relationship, which I think you have every right to want that, I would say that to her. I would say like, hey, I feel like I'm always initiating. I would like to feel wanted to and like pursued too. So yeah, I don't know. It sounds like the point it's at, you're already kind of thinking about like, okay, what would life be like if we split? So I don't know if you feel like it's too far gone, but I don't know. I think you could have some good conversations and at least figure out more like where she's at and say where you're at.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I feel like I wouldn't sleep on the couch if I was living with someone named Dr. Midnight. I know that. That's the truth. I hope that didn't sound like I was mocking, because I was not.
You think it sounds like cool?
Dr. Midnight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does sound real cool.
I'm fucking thinking of my own new nickname now. But anyway, okay. Let me get to this question. So I just had something. I have to tell you that worrying about what she's going to be able to afford, I don't think that's a healthy place to be, because like people have to figure out how to do stuff on their own if they're not with someone. So if she is just sticking around so she doesn't have to worry about paying for her son's college housing and her rent, that's not really fair to you. I'm going to tell you something. And maybe this just comes from how I think, what I've been through, whatever, right? I have a definite set of lenses in my glasses. And so I hate to always go here. Mm-hmm. But the fact that she wants to go out more, but she doesn't want you to come because she doesn't think you want to come, fuck that shit. That's the biggest excuse I've ever heard. It's like she wants to go out by herself. And if she doesn't have friends to go out, well, then what's she going out by herself to do what?
Right. Well, he says that
I know she's looking for a new relationship while they're still together.
There's a lot going on here that's obviously not what it should be.
Right.
And we are getting your perspective. You guys have been together 6 years. I have no idea what your relationship has been, but like you are clearly unhappy, and it sounds like she's not seemingly acting like she's happy. And so you need to have some sort of big conversation here, because this is like it can't continue like this. This isn't a healthy relationship.
Whatever the reason she wants to go out by herself,
Yeah.
it's there. It's broken in your relationship. That part of your relationship is broken. So I would just ask a whole bunch of questions.
Yeah.
I would sit down and be like, what's the deal? You're on the couch.
Yeah.
You want to go out by yourself. Like,
Yeah.
what do we need to do here? And maybe she'll come out and just say, maybe she'll say like, I'm unhappy. And then you guys can work from there. But
Yeah.
I don't think, I think that what one point you said, is this fixable or something? I don't think any relationship is fixable without asking the hardest questions.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna have to do it, because if you were to break up with her and go live somewhere else and you didn't ask the questions, then in 3 months, then you might want to know the answers to those questions anyways. So
Yeah.
why not just get all the information and then move on from there? That's what I would say.
I love that. You've been together 6 years. This is obviously a serious relationship. You live together. Like, I think you owe it to each other to have a major conversation, so that if you do both decide to go your separate ways, you're not feeling like, oh, well, I didn't actually know how they felt. We didn't really get to the bottom of our feelings. So I think that's all you can do, because no matter what, this current situation doesn't sound great for either of you. So even if the conversation is very hard, I think you will feel better one way or another in the long term, right? Either you guys will repair this and move forward, or you'll go your separate ways and hopefully both find like a better fit. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at what you wrote. Again, we don't know anything, but
Yeah.
she wants to go out by herself. You've offered to go out. She says, no, thank you, because I know you don't want to. She's on the couch. She called you guys roommates. I mean,
She's not initiating.
I'm, yeah, to me, this sounds, I don't know. I mean, it's one of these things where I wish you the best and I hope I'm completely wrong, but that just doesn't sound like great momentum.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Thanks for wanting our input. If you want to follow up with us and give us an update, feel free to. If not, we totally understand. But yeah, I think just having a good conversation would be a good place to start. So.
Yeah. And a couple Sundays ago, Kelsey did say that she thought your relationship was looking good. So that's probably what happened.
I'm not a jinx. We've been over this. I haven't said anything and you've still lost bets. And I haven't said anything and you've won bets.
I know. Are we done?
We're done.
Thank you for writing in. I'm Patton Oswald.
I'm Kelsey Cook.
We
Kelsey
will.
Jinx Cook.
Hi, I'm Calcium, or High Calcium Chad. What is it? High Calcium Chad? Because
he thought that
when people write in,
they say high calcium Chad,
Yeah,
and he thought I said high calcium Chad.
oh, it's fantastic.
I love it. You do seem to have like great bone density and tooth strength. I would say that. I'd say that you're a high calcium individual.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let's wrap up the show. I don't know what the fuck we're saying anymore.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Oh, and the Patreon questions episode will be up on Friday this week. So if you're part of those Patreon tiers, you'll get your questions episode then. Okay, officially bye.